I saved this for the end because this is my personal favorite. It tells the story that was actually my favorite story as a child, and in fact is still probably my favorite story. It's Alice Through the Looking Glass, written by the Reverend Charles Dodson, better known as Lewis Carroll. And it's a story of a precocious young 8-year-old girl named Alice who walks through a magical looking glass into a wonderful world of magic and wonder. And I'm going to illustrate some of my favorite passages of the story utilizing a pack of cards and a little mirror, a looking glass, one very similar to Alice, perhaps not quite as dirty, and the wonderful adventures she found on the other side. We need to have a card selected to represent young Alice, the precocious young 8-year-old. If you would, please. As I run through the pack, just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Right there. We utilize this card, the 5 of spades, to represent Alice. An excellent choice, one I would have made myself had I been given the opportunity. Right. There's some other cards that we use that we come to. The first 2 are the 2 black jacks. They represent the March Hare and the Mad Hatter. Now, the March Hare and the Mad Hatter had a party to which they invited Alice. At this party, they were serving a beverage. And written on the beverage, the bottle of the beverage, were 2 words. Do you know what they said? Exactly right. Strange thing happened when she drank the beverage, because she shrank to nearly 1/4 of her normal size. Needless to say, this perturbed young Alice, but fortunately for her, the effects of the elixir were short-lasting, and she soon returned to her normal size. That was the first adventure of little Alice. The second adventure occurred when she met up with the Black Queen and the Black King. Now, the Black Queen and the Black King also had a party to which they invited Alice. At this party, they were not serving a beverage. Instead, they were serving a currant cake. Written in currants on top of the cake were 2 words. Do you know what they said? Yeah, they usually get that one. Strange thing happened when she ate the currant cake, because she didn't start to shrink. No, no, no. Instead, she started to grow. So much so that her arms and legs protruded through the windows and doors, her head through the chimney. Needless to say, this perturbed little Alice, but fortunately for her, the effects of the currant cake were also short-lasting, and she soon returned to her normal size. That was the second adventure of little Alice. The third adventure occurred when she met up with the Red Queen and the Red King. Now, the Red Queen and the Red King also had a party to which they invited Alice. At this party, they weren't serving a beverage, they weren't serving a cake. Instead, they were playing croquet. But instead of using croquet mallets and balls, they were using flamingos and hedgehogs. Needless to say, this perturbed the flamingos and hedgehogs. Suddenly, the Queen ran around yelling, "Cut off her head, cut off her head." Well, fortunately for Alice, she was able to beat a hasty retreat from the scene of the party. And do you know how she got out? The same way that she got in, through the looking glass. Now, this is the story of a young girl's imagination, something we don't use as often as we should as we get older. Some people think you need a magic looking glass like this to get into that wonderful world of magic and imagination, but you don't. You can use any looking glass at all. In fact, any one of these will do. I thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. It has been my pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you so much.